Welcome back to K&K's Indie Gaming Corner. I am your host, Karrington. It is bright. It's early. I am awake. That is being sarcastic. And with me is, who is also equally awake in here, Kyle.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm right there with you. I'm very tired. Very tired, man. I'm tired, but I'm awake and I'm here like you are. And I am trying to exert the energy out of my inner belly to the vocal cords, to my lips, into the atmosphere. And I'm here.
I feel you on an emotional, spiritual, and physical level.
Yeah.
And mental.
Yeah. It's been, yeah. Let's just say that I've been up till 2 a.m. streaming video games. So.
And you were there. I know you were there.
Yeah.
Speaking about streaming video games, though, you were streaming a very particular game.
Yes.
A game called Stray.
Yes.
And I have the entire description on my Discord, but it's on a different screen.
It's all right.
And if I change it, it messes things up for the video part.
No. You're good. So we talked about Stray previously. Had not gone to a review because I think we both had just touched the game. Mm-hmm. But Stray is developed by BlueTwelve Studio, published by Annapurna Interactive, available on Steam, PS4, and PS5. And the game, I'll just go ahead and kind of dive into the info just a little bit because it's rather lengthy.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I saw it, but I should have moved Discord to my other screen. That's where the screen that's not being recorded.
I'll touch on what BlueTwelve Studio wrote. Lost and alone and separated from family, a stray cat must untangle an ancient mystery to escape a long-forgotten city. Stray is a third-person cat adventure game set amidst the detailed neon-lit alleys of a decaying cyber city and the murky environments of its seedy underbelly. Roam surroundings high and low, defend against unforeseen threats, and solve the mysteries of this unwelcoming place inhabited by curious droids and dangerous creatures. That is half of the information, and I'm done reading that. But yeah, so that touches it. It is, dude, it is such a good game.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I think from the beginning, and I'm going to... from the beginning, it pulls on your heartstrings. And I feel like it holds on to them throughout the 10th chapter where I'm at right now.
Oh my gosh, you are not done. Yes. It does get emotional even at the end.
So I streamed last night from 10:30 till 2 a.m. And you hopped on rather early saying, oh, you're really close to the end. I was on chapter 6 out of 12.
So in my mind, because I did it basically an entire section when I streamed the previous day.
Right.
So I was right around where you were, and then I just finished it, and I don't know how long it took. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, he's almost done because I did this in one sitting. He can do this in one sitting. So
I felt like I was further in the game than I actually was because I played with my daughter about through the first half. She played it, I watched her, and I forgot to realize, hey, she stops and does everything. She observes every corner, every can, every place you can sleep, every place you can scratch, everything, which is great. You got to see every nook and cranny of the game, but I wasn't as far as I really thought that I was, and I am very close to the end. I had to put the controller down when I realized I had to wake up in 4.5 hours to do this.
Fair enough.
Anyways, aside from that, my experience with the game so far has been absolutely incredible. The way that they create a story around this little cat who has absolutely no dialogue at all is amazing, and it made me think: could they do this with another animal, or if they were to do this, with a dog? I don't know, with a bird or a squirrel. I don't know anything. would they be able to pull it off as well as they did with Cat? And I don't believe that they could. I think that they could, with dogs and cats, I think that they could make their own story. But this cat is so unique and so special, and I want this cat in my house. I don't really care for cats, but this cat is what I want. And it's weird because looking at the game itself, you play as this cute furball, but you're in this like decaying underground city that looks gorgeous, and it's scary, and it's beautiful, and you want to explore. And there's so much detail, because I don't know if you felt this way playing it, but I felt so compacted into the city because everything is kind of so tight, but it's also so big, and it's easy to get lost in these different districts that you're in to try to finish your objective. But yeah, this game is awesome. I don't know, what was your experience with it? Also, kudos to you for just streaming the whole playthrough of it. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just one of those things. Like, as soon as I started, I'm like, I hear this game's not long, so I can finish it, right? So, yeah, I think it took me about 3 or 4 hours to finish from the time I started streaming to the time I finished. But anyway, yeah, I mean, also just basically trying not to repeat everything you said, because first of all, I agree with everything you said. The soundtrack is absolutely fantastic and gorgeous. The way it's set up, and I'm like, we have to get the composer on. I don't know how, but I mean, I know how. Hopefully they say yes. How's that? Yeah. Because the music was great for like the atmosphere, and it felt, I don't know, it also felt unique. The soundtrack did. I don't know how else to describe it other than it. To me, it also felt like it had a lot of like French house vibes to it, which I liked. At least that's what I got from it. I don't know about you. Yeah, I was just like, this is awesome. Incredible. And the way they get around your main character not talking is to have a side character that talks for you, right, but also not doing all the talking still, like a Navi in
hey, listen.
Yeah. So, which is nice. I think they did that really well. It was a nice balance, and it's funny to me, which a part you've already seen the first time you see the robots inhabitants, how they're scared of you. And I'm like, I'm just a little cat, bro. What are you scared of? But then as you get to know them and figure out more about like their history, I feel like that's when the story really begins. Finding the larger narrative, not just the individual cat's narrative, and it just kind of grows from there. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. Thank you for touching on the companion, which, nod to the company, is named B12. So it's a nice way of putting in, I guess, your company's name into the game with being not mystique about it, but sly, I guess you could say. But yeah, I thought that I was close to the end of the game when I finished a main section where you have to gain access to a certain weapon and bring two characters together.
Oh, yes.
Which was very, very touching for me personally. But to know that that's just a smaller part of the game and that there's more to dig into, they did a really good way. They did a really good job of having you do these missions, these quests, and build the story itself with the different characters, and really make robots that could be very not interesting, and build this, like you said, the story with these characters. Man, I just, going into this game and just seeing the trailers and my excitement for the game itself, because personally I thought it kind of looked more like a horror style game.
Yes.
Just kind of, I don't know, running from killer robots, but no, they flipped the switch and they made these robots into lovable characters. And man, I will say one of my favorite parts in this, and this is is the music robot and finding the music sheets.
Yes.
And just giving them sheets and letting them play music and sitting next to them and just trying to meow to the songs itself. I don't know why. It was just so satisfying hearing that. And there's so many little side missions. And I plan to go back and play through it because I had not gotten all the sheet music. There's certain things that I didn't miss. I'm sure there's little what's the word? It's not achievements, trophies that I need to get for the game as well. And maybe have a proper playthrough where it's not taking me 6 hours to beat it.
Sure. And that section of the game is like probably the only like open world section of the game, quote unquote. Like after that becomes super linear, I guess. Yeah. And the Zerks, which are the enemies, let me tell you, those are creepy. I hate them.
They are head crabs.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. I said it on stream a couple times. These are head crab zombies.
Or at least they were definite inspirations. But I wonder if they made any kind of connection with that. Wouldn't it be interesting if... so the objective is trying to get out of this undercity, which is walled off from the upper world. Wouldn't it be funny if there was some kind of connection with Half-Life to this?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, because when I was streaming last time, someone mentioned that the cat looks like I don't know if you've seen Captain Marvel, but it looks like the cat from Captain Marvel, the movie. I'm like, yeah. I wonder if they use that cat as maybe inspiration because that cat was a show stealer in that movie.
BlueTwelve, if there is a way that you connect this to either the Marvel universe or the Half-Life universe, my mind would blow.
Absolutely.
So I personally don't feel comfortable giving the game a rating yet because I still have 2 chapters left in the game.
Sure.
So with that, I will finish streaming it maybe after we record this because hopefully I have 30 minutes left to play the game. I will say stop whatever you're playing and go out and buy the game. And do it. I mean, it's worth $30. It is an experience that you're not going to get. Karrington, I don't know if you can back me up with this with you playing through it. And maybe if you do want to give a score for the game itself, and just let our listeners they've got to play this game.
Absolutely. 100%. This game is quite an experience. I don't know what else to say other than it's an emotional experience. Even if you don't like cats, it's still emotional. It makes you care about the cat. It makes you care about the world. It makes you care about the people you're helping. It's not hard. There are a couple sections where you actually might die. But I mean, other than that, the game itself isn't too hard. So even a kid can play it and should still be able to beat it with ease. Or if you feel like maybe your skills aren't the best, if you are a gamer who feels like your skills are amazing, it's still a fun game to go through. It's still a fantastic experience to go through. And I just can't speak highly enough. I mean, the game looks incredible. And soundtrack absolutely phenomenal. And there's plenty of side quests in there, so that way, even if you just rush through it, there's also some side quests in there for you to just kind of replay through and experience as well.
Very nice.
In my rating, I'd say I keep going back and forth with it, and it's like it's definitely not a 10, and then it's like then I go down the line, and I feel like it deserves to be in like the 8.5 to 9 range.
So last night while I was streaming this, unless things go haywire in the last couple chapters, I repeated in my head 8.5. This game, I feel like this is an 8.5. Like you said, beautiful game, beautiful soundtrack. It's not quite at that 10 tier.
Yeah, 7 seems too low though, too.
Exactly. Yeah. So 8.5 does sound justifiable.
Yeah. And one quick thing that I love doing for no reason, by the way, is when you're running, using the sprint button, in one direction and then you immediately go a different direction, he slides a little bit. I would do it on purpose all the time.
Yeah. Somebody in stream last night said this has amazing cat mechanics.
Yes.
As far as like the way they're riding, he's riding and striding.
Well, so, that is our review of Stray. So if you have any other thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, please definitely hit us up. We'd love to answer them or hear them. Once again, that was Stray by BlueTwelve Studios. We're going to take a small, quick break, and then we're going to get into Arcadegeddon. Okay, so welcome back to K&K's Gaming Indie Corner. Again, I hope you enjoyed that small break. Whatever we inserted in there, I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. And for our second game, we are going to We will be talking about, if I can get these words out, Arcadegeddon from Illfonic. They are both the publisher and developer. Available on. Oh, I forgot to double check this. I'm pretty sure it's available on all platforms. I know it's
definitely
for sure
on Xbox.
On Xbox, yes, because that's where I played it. Yep, it's on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Series XS, and PC. So.
Voice.
It is everywhere that a game can be found except the Nintendo Switch.
Yes, or Game Boy.
Or Game Boy, yes.
Yeah.
So Arcadegeddon is looking at my notes, a cooperative multiplayer game that provides a mix of PvE and PvP experiences that allows for all different speeds of play. And how true is that last sentence? Kyle, I know things have been crazy for you. You had a PC to build. You were out of town. However, did you get a chance to play Arcadegeddon?
Like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's as far as I can tell, it looks like a fun game. And it seems the running mechanics seem real smooth. That's about as far. Maybe some of the shooting mechanics too. Basically, I just got through the first, 5 minutes of your combat section that you counter. I don't have a whole lot to say about it right now. Hoping that we can stream it maybe later this week. But with you dunking some hours into it, what was your experience with it? And we'll just start with that.
Sure. As far as I will say, full disclosure, I can't say I finished the game, but I don't know if there's an ending either. It's one of those things that you just, because it's an arcade game, you know, so you just play it over and over again kind of thing. So in my experience, I mean, is there technically some sort of ending to your runs that you do? Yes. But is there an ending to the story? I don't think so, if that makes sense. Like an arcade game, essentially. Right. So I have quite a few hours, unfortunately, playing by myself. You and I, Kyle, never got a chance to play. I've never got a chance to play with friends, really. And I feel weird playing with randos. So
yeah. I will say, like, the last week has been rough in the gaming world for me, just because of, like I said, I've been dealing with building a PC, and maybe we'll get into that conversation after this briefly, so I can vent about how much I hate putting computers together. But so with playing Arcadegeddon, what is the combat system like? And is it like an open world experience?
So it is a third-person shooter, and I feel like the shooting mechanics are pretty solid. Like, I don't feel like I'm ever what's the word I'm looking for? They're not too tight, but they're not too loose. I mean, they're I feel like they tweaked that quite a bit to get it just right. I never feel like I am, I don't know, missing my shots. I don't feel like I'm ever have to have like pro level aiming to hit my shots either. So which is really nice. And there's quite, you start off with a basic weapon, and you can unlock the weapon, your starting weapon, as you play through the game. And it requires playthroughs of the game. No money, no nothing like that. It requires actual playthroughs of the game to unlock other starting weapons.
So no pay to win or whatever.
No. Yeah. So even though you do have to pay for the game, there are some microtransactions, but they are literally all cosmetic, and you can earn in-game money to unlock them if you don't want to pay real-world money.
Nice.
But it is a lot of in-game money.
So I'm looking at the game itself. I got major Ready Player One vibes, kind of.
Yes, yes, very much so.
As the character, are you jumping into these different games, playing through it, or these different environments? I don't know. Yeah, are you jumping into these different biomes? I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
To run through and I don't know, kill enemies.
Yeah, basically. I mean, the one of the characters, he created basically a machine for the player to experience, gaming on, in real life kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so you jump into this machine whenever you want to start a run, and it transports you over into the game. And there are other game modes as well, and you hop on their respective machines to be able to play them. Like when you want to do the PvP, there's a different machine for that.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. It sounds really cool. As far as customizing your character, is there a lot of options? Is it like Fortnite style options? Are we talking like everything is in the game, or?
So as far as skins go, there's quite a few different like skins and cosmetics you can get, and they break it down too. So you can customize your character from basically head to toe in any way you want to within the game's options, which is really nice and really cool. And it teaches you how to unlock it very quickly. So you do it by just playing. It's literally playing the game. There's missions that you can do, either PvE missions or PvP missions, that in turn will grant you credits, and you use those credits on cosmetics if that's what you want to spend them on. But there's not much else to spend them on outside of cosmetics, really.
Interesting.
And to unlock those starting weapons I talked about earlier, it's not in-game credits you unlock them by. It's literally playing the game. And it's like, okay, to get the first starting, or the first starting weapon, I think you have to play through do like 5 runs, I think, or something like that. And then the next is like 10 runs or something like that. I don't remember the exact.
So in a run itself, I mean, you're running through to eliminate enemies. Are there objectives, or is it just kill all the bad guys, or eliminate all the bad guys?
You're basically going from point A to point B on your runs. If you want to have an objective, you have to talk to an NPC beforehand, and they can give you a mission.
Oh, cool.
So that way you have some sort of objective-based thing in mind. Otherwise, you're just running through it and trying to get the highest score as possible.
Oh, interesting. That is sweet. Yeah. That is awesome premise.
And there are boss fights, and they are tough by yourself. Definitely requires more than one person. Oh, and by the way, too, like every time you start a run, it's gonna, even though the environment may be the same, but the path will be different. So that is randomized every time, as well as the boss. Whenever you go into a boss fight, it's also random.
Very nice. Replayability sounds very high.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Trying to think if anything else that I didn't cover in our preview last recording. The game looks gorgeous, very bright, very colorful, very neon futuristic setting, almost cyberpunk-ish.
Yep.
So it's really cool. PvP, not my thing in this game. I don't know. There's not many third-person shooters I feel like that get the PvP right. Fortnite is one of the few, whether you love it or hate it. Fortnite's one of the few that gets third-person shooting right in a multiplayer game. This one I don't feel like it hits that mark. You have to be really good to compete on the PvP level.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You're fine. It's still it's like the whole, I think I compared it to Destiny Strikes. A lot, and I still get those vibes every time I pick up the game and start it up. And Kyle, you look shocked and surprised, like I killed somebody. No, I did not murder anybody.
I hit a button. I'm sorry. I hit a button and my whole thing just muted. No.
Gotcha. I don't know what else to say about Arcadegeddon. It looks like it could be fun with friends. Unfortunately, I did not get that experience.
We'll get it done this weekend.
Exactly. But other than that, even by yourself, it's a ton of fun to go through. There's a lot of different weapons and power-ups that you can get and grab as you do a run to keep things fun and interesting instead of just monotonous, because otherwise, I don't know. I mean, you're really just killing endless waves of enemies and just trying to get from point A to point B. But at the same time, it's like you don't want to just run through it, otherwise you'll get a low score, which is, you don't want that.
Right. No, who wants a low score? If there was a crowd that you were selling this game to, what features of the game would you use to sell it to?
I would definitely say that the crowd that's really into TMNT, or the game that we reviewed last.
Oh wow! Okay,
I would push that. Push this game to that crowd, because it's definitely a modernized arcade game that I feel like needs to be enjoyed by probably a bit of I shouldn't say older crowd, because I'm part of that crowd, but I don't know if it will take with a younger crowd, like say like your kids, or even up to 15ish. Right. I don't know, because I don't know how well perceived arcade games are among the generation now, since arcades aren't really a thing. Yeah, we need to see the rise of arcades again. Absolutely.
Well, cool, man. Sounds like a great game. I cannot wait to get into it some more and actually sink some time into it after I finish this cat game.
Sounds good, bro. Yeah. I feel weird rating it. Like, if I were to rate it, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10, because there's no technical ending, and I did sink a good 6 to 10 hours into it, so it's not like I didn't spend any time with it. But as far as I could tell, there's no true ending of the game either. So it's not like I can be like, oh yeah, just I finished it and did everything.
Yeah. Well, good. Solid score. Now, you have a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Karrington.
Yes, sir.
Why are computers the most frustrating thing on earth?
You just gotta learn. I feel like myself, probably another friend of yours that you probably hit up as well, Caleb. I feel like
old time host of the show.
Absolutely.
Or the previous
incarnation of this show. I feel like people who are into, I shouldn't say into computers, that fix computers for a living are mostly like computer whisperers. We know how to speak computer. In a way. And you know what's funny? Like, I tell people all the time, building a computer is easy. It's like a puzzle piece. You just got to put all the puzzles together.
Yes. Yes, I enjoy that part.
And which part do you not like, Kyle?
The software and making sure the pieces communicate with each other. So from your suggestions, I built a computer, and it runs very, very nicely. I'm very happy with it.
Good. I can see your lovely face right now.
I wanted to tear my hair out in the process of building it, because I think the excitement for me, so I've never had a good experience with building computers.
Okay.
I've always bought stuff. I've bought games that don't work for my computers when I was younger. I bought parts that didn't work for my computer. And it was very frustrating. And the last computer I had was my dad's, and it's like 12 years old. The hard drive is dated 2011. Yeah. And so I upgraded the graphics card. I put some more RAM in it, and the power supply unit. I also upgraded in that computer. And then I wanted to upgrade the CPU, and it didn't match up with it. So I got irritated. I wanted to throw it across the room. So I bought stuff to build a new computer, and everything's lined up perfectly. It was nice. Went to go turn it on, and the BIOS, new term for me, was outdated on the motherboard. So it couldn't communicate with my hard drive, because I kept the previous hard drive when I should have really just bought a new hard drive for it. And it didn't work. And so I got real impatient. I started buying things. And I wanted it right then and right there to fix it. But I had to wait because it needed to ship to my house. All right. So I get a new motherboard with an updated BIOS on it. And I still have the same problem of it booting up to Windows or whatever
Mm-hmm.
to my hard drive. So I get frustrated, impatient, and then I go pay Caleb a visit after I buy a new hard drive.
All the way in West Virginia, because you're here with me in Ohio.
Right. But it lined up perfectly because we were going to West Virginia anyways to go visit my mom for a long weekend.
Okay.
And he finally installed Windows 11. I had to start with a fresh hard drive.
So now, even with the old hard drive hooked in or plugged in, it still wouldn't boot to it.
It wouldn't boot. No.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have a lot of stuff on there that I need to get off, which reminds me I need to order hard drive kit, or I don't know, whatever it's called. Yeah. So my experience with building a computer was a solid 3.5 out of 10.
You know what you need? You need to buy a PC building gaming simulator on Steam.
No. Oh, man. Is that real?
Yes, it is real.
Is it real? Oh, boy. That might be fun. But I am glad to have a computer that I booted up Monster Hunter World last night just to see it work on my computer, and it works just fine. I'm very excited, and I appreciate your patience and willingness to answer questions that were probably really dumb. One of them being, I can't get this other hard drive to work because for some reason it's not showing on my computer. And you said, I know you're not stupid, but maybe you should check the plugins on the back. Yeah, well, that was what happened. One of the plugins came out on the back.
Gotcha.
After I put the case back together, and it works just fine. And yeah, last night I streamed for like 3-4 hours, and it was awesome. Nothing happened. No glitches in the system. Yeah. So.
And I felt really bad asking that question, but it's like the most basic question, that I ask everybody kind of thing. It's like,
it happens.
Is it plugged in?
Right. I mean, but I pushed it in. I knew it clicked in. I felt it. I put the case back on. I took the case off. The power was off of it. It popped off.
It happens.
I'm an idiot.
No, it happens.
Sorry,
it happens.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, real quick. Did you play Stray on PlayStation or PC?
PlayStation. I played on PS4. I would have played it on PC had I had the PC done sooner. I would have finished it a lot sooner too had I had this computer together, because my PlayStation is wired in to my Elgato, which is also wired into a splitter between my PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox, which is all connected to the bottom of my desk. So trying to remove those wires and everything, I was not about to get into all that.
Sure.
So yeah, it would have been done last week. But anyways, yeah. So computer building rant. I love it and I hate it, and I'm glad it's done.
It's funny because last time I had to deal with it was a year or two ago when our good friend Cody, also previous host of the show, he upgraded his computer. He's like, hey, I just need you here just in case anything goes wrong. Bro, and I'm telling you, everything that could go wrong went wrong for no reason. It made 0 cents. $0 and 0 cents. His hard drive wouldn't work for no reason. And after connecting it, disconnecting it several times, I was like, okay, maybe it just got corrupted somehow. He was like, okay, yeah, sure. So I'm in the middle of trying to format a different hard drive from. It wouldn't format, and then out of nowhere, the hard drive that didn't work just started working for no reason again.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes even everything that's going right and perfect just doesn't work for no reason.
Yeah. Well, I would like to know how this computer does in comparison of a pre-built computer, and if there would be much difference as far as pricing goes for a pre-built computer like this.
I think if you buy pre-built, you're really, it's a little extra in for labor costs, but the headache is definitely removed.
Right.
So you're definitely paying for not going through that experience.
It's basically buying a console.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah. So that's been my week of just trying to pull my hair out. Yeah. And then after getting it done, just patiently.
I should have just came over. I should have known, because all the time, it never goes smooth. Even me upgrading a computer, it never goes 100% smooth.
I'm a sucker for LEDs, so I will say that part of the problem was the ATX micro hard drive that I had, or mini hard drive or whatever, that had the old BIOS on it. So I did upgrade to I don't know, it was a pricier just a hard drive motherboard. Yeah, I'm sorry, I caught myself there.
You're
to
good.
A pricier motherboard that has a little LED on it, and it's really pretty, and I'm happy about it.
Hey, those
changes
LEDs
colors.
come in clutch too.
Yeah, and the case has like 6 fans on it that are all LEDs, and my kid walked down and said, "What is that, Dad?"
Don't touch it.
It'll break. Yeah. Then I bought the case that had the window on the side, and the window isn't screwed on, so you can literally just open and close it. So now I'm worried that the kids are going to go in there and throw Gatorade inside my computer.
No.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to stream. Like, I've been wanting to do this since I bought the capture card like 2 years ago, and it's just been messing up. Now it runs smooth, so I'm like excited to get into this.
Now you got an itch that needs to be like can never be satisfied.
Yeah.
And you know what's also great is you streamed last night for what, like 3-4 hours?
Yeah. From
your console with no issues.
Right. Normally I would stream maybe 30 minutes and it would go black screen. And it kept flickering on and off. The Switch wouldn't be as much, but the PlayStation and the Xbox, that would be really bad. So I would get frustrated, and then I would download games on Steam that I could play and stream with no problems. But it was, and no, I mean, Stardew Valley is an incredible game.
Right.
And so is Moonlighter. But those are about the extent of the games that I could play on my old PC because they're not very
intensive.
Right. So now I can actually play and stream something that I'm excited to, I don't know, show off.
Your PC could probably run both Stray and Arcadegeddon with no issues.
Yes. All right. Maybe we should wrap it up.
Absolutely, because I'm technically not available anymore.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about building PCs, you can hit me up or ask Kyle about how his experience was, and he can repeat it for you.
Yeah. Through angry emojis.
Definitely hit us up. I've got new graphics that should be coming up right now if you're watching the video version of all of our socials. If you're listening, definitely hit us up at KK Indie Gaming. That's everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, KNKGamingIndieCorner.com is our website. That's the YouTube, all that fun stuff.
All this stuff that you're seeing on the screen that I'm thinking that might be on there, but probably isn't.
Absolutely. And as always, have a great, fantastic, rad day.